All right, welcome everyone. Hope you all had a great spring break. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so welcome to our mission. This week we'll be talking about longer living through science, in which we're basically talking about how sci-fi has explored the ideas of immortality or expanding your lifespan. Next week we'll be doing karaoke. It's basically karaoke, but we replace carry with the word star. I'm pretty sure there's some kind of start pronouncing karaoke wrong, but I don't know. Okay. Hey, first off, we have a movie poll up on our social media right now. We are deciding between two movies for our next movie outing. It's either gonna be Shazam or Hellboy. Hey, so like I said, we have a link on it on our social medias, the Facebook and Twitter, and we'll probably add a link to our email sometime this week. So yeah, help us choose between which of the two movies we will go see. All right, so membership. You want to be a member? Talk to Aaron, except not during the mission because Aaron's hosting the mission. So talk to Aaron after the mission if you want to be a paid member. All right. Book clubs at 6:30 p.m. on Mondays. Hey, so which they do a thing of reading throughout the week and then discuss with it on Mondays. Matt, do you know what book they're reading next? Yeah, you would know. Daniel. Is there anything you can say about the book? Okay, so cool. So, and you guys are starting to read it this week? All right then. All right, so yeah. So book club. Join the conversation on Slack. We have a thing called the Slack, in which a lot of our members go up there to discuss all things nerdy, such as anime, Nintendo, Star Wars, Steven Universes, I think is one of them. So yeah, Slack is a good way to get to know members and to express your nerdiness. All right. Want to run a mission? Go to ihaveanidea.rtstar.com and having new people present a lot of topics and stuff. So yeah, it's also a great way to get out of your comfort zone. Oh, all right. And finally, this weekend is TorahCon. Woo! Star will be at TorahCon on both days this weekend, hosting Artemis from 11 to 3 p.m., which is our Bridge Crew simulator thing. It's a lot of fun and it's great being in TorahCon's fun in general. Well, also something to look out for if you're going to TorahCon. Some of our members here at Star will be in the cosplay chess show, which is a fun little amateur show of a bunch of people dressed up as fictional characters from a variety of mediums, duking it out on a silly game of chess. It's a lot of fun to watch, so I recommend going to that if you're attending TorahCon. And with that said, Ed, I'll pass it on to our mission runner. Hey, Matt, do your thing. Oh, can I also get the so is it over there? Yeah. I can get it. Is that
wrong one. I don't have my glasses. Oh, what? Oh. Yeah. I can't see. You're using one. Present. Nice.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Longer Living Through Science. Now,
as some of you may have seen in the trivia slideshow, the average lifespan of a human being is 79 years of age. Now that, of course, is seemingly long by some people's standards, definitely longer than it has been in a number of years. The longest living person on record lived to be 122. Of course, my great-grandmother lived to be 102, but then again, we can't all be really old, short, stubborn German ladies. So, you know, we do our best through modern medicine, longer living through chemistry today, at least. But of course, in science fiction, anything is possible. And in many cases, people have decided, you know what? I want to tell a story of a world where we're not held back by the confines of modern society and modern medicine, that we can ascend beyond who we are today. It's fine. It was small. Now, the first and most obvious answer would be just to have many significant medical advances. Modern medicine, although we have treatment for many diseases and ailments, of course, they only go so far, and of course, humans can only live for a certain amount of time before they naturally pass away. Most people today live a natural lifespan about between 70 and 90 years old. But of course, in some places, there are some universes where that is not true. Of course, in the much beloved Star Trek series, we see humans and of course other species who've lived much beyond our lifespan of today, well into their hundreds, and some even farther than that. And in some cases, people have lived even beyond. We've solved the aging process, such as the movie In Time, in which people only live to be 25, to the age of 25, and then can live forever, provided they have enough money, essentially. Now, to be more specific. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Obviously, you're out of lifespan.
It's on there.
Oh, you can't? What? Oh,
okay. Just
off the phone.
My mother-in-law, Sarah, my wife, Michelle, and my daughter, Sylvia. I guess we're out from last week. So it's cooler. Just want some more time than I had today. Oh, we're here. 105. That comes when you've had enough. If you had as much time as I had, what do you do with it? Choose I would waste. The last time we were still alive, it was over 6 million talking about all the time.
His name is Will Fox.
You can't have 100 years ago. You know that time will get you killed. You know, I'm gonna get out of here.
You just wouldn't know what to do if I left you.
I believe we've had the pleasure of your company before, Mr. South. Well, South. I'm sorry to have to break the party, Mr. West. Just need to work with your friends. This is my day.
Please take me home.
Can't do that.
Why?
You're keeping me alive. Can you live with yourself watching people die right next to you?
You don't watch. Close your eyes.
I really can't imagine. I'm gonna take them for everything you've got. You don't know how your own hands. You also have the whole system. It's himself. If it's worse, we gotta get more.
I didn't want to get out having long.
You know, come in the kitchen. He's giving you life.
Now, of course, the question is, if you can obtain immortality, is it worth it? Can anyone else say any other series or parts of sci-fi where medical advances have advanced to somewhere like this, or in Star Trek's case? Logan? Okay.
I feel like the whole thing of like people stop changing when you buy, keep going to really is to have all their stuff actively on top of people. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The way they Well, essentially, in this movie, the time is everything. You are born with a clock on your hand which says how much time you have left to live. But of course, you need to, in that time, eat, sleep, do things, and everything has an amount of time that it costs, and then that subtracts with.
So if I say had 80 years, and I never accumulated money, I was not 50 years.
No. Well,
It's not a good movie. I know it's not a bad movie. Okay, it's not bad. Okay, fine, it's not bad. I'm not good at it. I think it's more cool, but it's. My understanding is the number on the list, and women are here in New York, like that possibility.
Yes.
So I'll say this much: we have seen it. It has a great concept and stuff. It's just poor execution all around. Like the story is trying to tell it doesn't really match up with the execution, and also like I just think something active, but yeah.
All right.
For your question,
Yeah.
well, for drama, I mean, there's a line of medical advancements today, it's like an age of living, it's like ridiculous.
Yes.
So I mean, the funny concept is Futurama where when you hit 160, robots come to take you to a planet where you have to live out in like a computer simulation. And Professor Finder science, we're waiting, and like we're like our families to call us, but they never call us. It's like, and it was like, oh, I think it works like that.
Wasn't it like that retirement home cube or whatever?
Yes, they called it the near Death Star.
You're Death Star. Yeah, you're Death Star. It doesn't look heavy to me.
No, they enjoyed it.
Yeah, the Futurama.
Zach.
It's a very common trope in science fiction to just say that, well, because we're in this time or on this planet, that X disease is not a big deal anymore. Like, I'm not a big deal where someone will have some ailment and then we probably take them to some planet and the aliens will go, oh, we're just really with that. Here, it's gone.
That's true.
And overall, I find it interesting that like half the time they go, that thing it doesn't exist anymore. Well, also we have this new alien who listens basically the same things on Europe.
That's true. Yes.
Mass Effect also has a similar thing where the average lifespan for humans is like 125.
Yeah, sorry I lived to be over now. Because
Yeah.
Yes.
Protein can also live that long, but they usually live to be about 40.
Yeah, because food like to kill each other.
Yes. Why is the other confused?
That's what they do with the base.
Yeah.
Now,
Species.
moving on.
So the individual food will be
Of course, now on, there are, of course, nice things to certain medical advances, but of course, science isn't always good. And in many cases in science fiction, even today, we discovering what we can do with cloning, and some science fiction writers and in other areas of science fiction have been dealing with the thought of cloning, creating human clones to harvest their organs for years, and having just in essentially having rich people or everyone in society have an identical clone who, whenever they get sick or injured or need a transplant, they will just take the organ from their clone. Such as the movie, the horror film Parts, the Clonus Horror, which essentially, which is one of the earlier discussions of the topic, and the 2005 movie The Island, which instead of having the clones kept in camps or in stasis, they simply have them in mega cities where they, when they're needed, they're simply taken away to the island.
Yeah, I feel like the other phones the good things that work on the island.
It's like it's kind of like it's kind of like when you basically there's no way that taking dogs for a walk.
To the lottery stage. Jordan you're moving out to the island. Transported to the road. These people want to get sick and need to talk. These people need excuse me, Miss, I'm so smart, I can't even go to the island.
Human cloning, is it good? Is it bad? What do you people think?
Would just replacing organs that don't want to take. Like, what if eventually your body itself doesn't work anymore? If it would
prevent you dying of organ failure? It will prevent you dying of anything. People like.
Well, but think you have early stage cancer instead of in, say, your liver, and it hasn't spread to somewhere else. They just.
Like, would you appreciate it? Is that going too far?
Maybe. Is it going too far?
I mean, is your newborn going to have everything that
Well, that's kind of so that goes back to, there's a thought experiment called the Ship of Theseus, where there is, so think of a ship that's been sailing for years, and over the years, the ship gets damaged naturally, and the sails, the mast, eventually a bunch of things gets replaced, and slowly over time, every part of the ship is replaced. So there is nothing of the original ship standing. Is that ship the same ship?
What you're living through something like that's about immortality, it's also expanding your lifespan. That will definitely expand your lifespan and says that you don't have organ failure. Yeah.
But would you still be aging?
I think that is like, why do you have like, if the organ are already systems like be like these organ thing transplants or whatever, why do you have to be like giving like our consciousness to go through this whole lot of things?
That's
Also, can we just clone the organ itself?
We can.
We can. Yes, also because
it's like we would definitely 100% not go this route of. But for these clones, what are they doing for organs? We're all doing shit. Like,
well, they have a lot of places. Well, they're when these clones. Well, obviously, these clones are monitored more closely than we humans with free will are. But in some cases, they have the clones just the moment they're born, they're put in essentially stasis tubes where they're just living out their life brain dead. And the only in other sci-fi, not in the island.
But why are they giving free rein back and what happens if your clone also has organ failure?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think this is perfect. I didn't write the island. Each clone has its own clone that they get their organs from. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Livers can. So, or instead of cloning your organs, you make yourself into a cyborg, which is defined as a person whose physiological function is aided by or dependent upon any mechanical or electronic device. So, technically, why not?
You put all your organs, I mean, if you have those, and the cause of death was like, for example, heart failure, then if you replace your heart, then yes, you live. Yeah,
the more you replace the more robotic you become.
And
Although, yes, yes. But there is a wonderful cyber theory elective that you can take at the school, which talks about this. And I've had discussions with several people who've taken it. So technically, in accordance with some people who've taken it, who I've spoken to, technically, if you have a pacemaker, you're already a cyborg. That's true. Of course, literature has done this forever, as in with Victor Stone, also known as simply Cyborg, or the entire species of the Borg from Star Trek, and RoboCop.
So, what is sort of upload their digitally upload the body or robot? This cyborg is a robot.
They're a robot. Yes, of human DNA. Yes.
What's the first time I really like, I like this idea a lot. Other than anything I can discover, like, you know.
Robot Man? Oh, okay.
Yes, right.
Yes, technically, still a cyborg. Yes. Yes. Yes, exactly. Now, in some other ways, some in sci-fi, in science fiction, people have prolonged their life. People have naturally prolonged lives due to some sort of genetic tampering or mutation, such as, of course, Deadpool and Wolverine, also Vandal Savage, and a character from the short-lived series Alphas called Stanton Parrish. Several species, much like mutants in the X-Men universe, have certain abilities, and his ability was simply prolonged life with natural healing.
All for One has a longevity report.
That's true.
Because he's easily over 100 and he's still.
Yes.
As well as trying to can do.
Yes.
So, he was alive at the beginning of the first.
Yes.
So it's sort of people want to hear what I want to report.
Yes, and then there are examples in several of these universes where they essentially take that whatever in their genes or their biology that makes them live longer or heal and apply it to other people or other species and create other genetic anomalies. Now, as you were saying before, yes, Zach, did you want to say something? I would say he is in the slide. I did not put him here because technically that's a good question. Would essentially having someone who has absorbed the entire vortex of time and said, you become alive again, considered a mutation? I do not know. Yes. Yes, it was.
I know the application of their powers differ in that, Dr. Utility implies that having that does to age, even if you crazy, but
No.
It's completely, it's not completely clear, like, the kind of, but also, everything.
But it totally is him, though.
Everything from John Barrowman, that something must have happened before they can vote to allow that to happen, because you can't die. Yeah.
True.
I mean, it's like,
Yeah, that is a good point.
True.
It probably ages until it will never die, but then eventually a patient will die.
I mean,
So, something must have
Possibly, yes.
Even if you age at like 1 billion of natural time, like, and you age,
But the,
it's like, oh, you really age that.
that whole thing, before it cannot die.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been blown up and the victim himself put themselves back together.
He was buried for many, many years and died very many
I
times.
mean, Wolverine by celestial. Deadpool got blown to bits like full of blood. Venom Savage done a lot of things and he comes back. I don't know about shooting back. I haven't watched that. But Venom Savage, like in Justice League Unlimited, where Justice League Unlimited, I can't remember which part of the series was this. Where like he basically destroys the world and he's the last one alive on the planet for 30,000 years.
Yes.
It's Superman teleported into the future and he's like,
Yes.
it's really weird because it's been alone for 30,000 years.
Yes. If you're immortal, eventually it becomes maybe not worth it for you.
Yeah, and what do you answer right here? Look right there. And Superman was tells him, he's like, go ahead. And Superman's like, well, what do we do now? And Superman's like, lunch?
Yes. That is true. And I love that episode. I love Justice League in general. Yes. It's wonderful. Now, as you were saying before, a little different from being a cyborg is uploading your mind into a computer or copying your consciousness or however you decide to describe it. Or in some cases, adding your brain to a hive mind where your consciousness is now in the cloud. Where some people would say, not only are you beyond, have you expanded your life, you have transcended the need for a physical body, such as Marvel's Arnim Zola and the from Psychopaths, the system that runs, essentially governs the world, is actually found out to be a system of brains of the most brilliant minds, criminal or otherwise, in the world, who essentially have hooked themselves up to a hive mind to make their own decisions. Can any of you think of any other examples of this, or are these people still human in the first place? Yes, Cooper first.
Every time like they lose their body through highly means, like they go up, the whole mind, their whole body, and call them simulacrums. And they still retain all their skills. Their whole body is just as good as or better as their former human body. So
yes. Zach, you wanted to say something? I know exactly what you're going to say.
There's a lot of things. I just want to make sure people want to take spoilers. So there's are super complicated systems that point into the brain of the lead programmer involved in creating them. And that seems to be really a lot of ways. And one of them is that everyone is so much wrong, including the supercomputer.
He's not wrong. You should still watch the show, but it's bizarre. Yes.
In that moment, as you're violating the Jaeger is a part of you, and you are part of it.
Which is why kaiju drifting was possible.
Yes. It's like, so, people like, I know like I said online, the Jaeger punch and like kind of feel it. Even the movie, like when Tiffany was horrible at the beginning, right? Like it's highly in pain, like it's already her dog.
Yes.
And even when the first time he drifts with Mako, it's like my little arms are shot from when I got her off, but I really so it's interesting. Like it's interesting that like, I'm standing in this for more, but the one we got when he gets okay more in that way.
And one of the many ways that Sarah knows me inspired by Sarah is that really well mirrors the relationship between a pilot and a victim, which are literally.
And even for like non-spoiler, like you digitally upload your mind into the online pilot.
Yes. Would anyone like to discuss? Are you still really human if you do this? Is it still you if you copy all of your memories in your brain into a robot? Is that robot still you?
To the point, like you said, I mean, one can argue that if it's a copy, it's not fully, but if you upload like your stuff into a computer, it's not like a copy of yourself. I mean, what goes of it? You just uploaded this body to the computer, you didn't really copy anything.
There's a point to, sometimes it is like you put yourself into the theater and stuff, and not just two of you, except just one of you.
Yeah, I think
It's just two of you, so the reverse
playing this between transferring the computer and making a copy on the computer is to ignore what actually happened. If you move a file from your computer to a flash drive instead of copying it, all that's happening is you told the computer to make a copy and then delete your original. There's not actually.
I'm going to
that to the flash.
So no matter what, it's still like copy. It's not no longer be results to exist.
It is. There's multiple episodes of that comes.
Hammer?
The way I kind of think about it is if I'm playing you in chess with friends on my phone, I would say in Australia for some weird reason.
You're John. You're with John. Something.
Yeah. And I'm playing you over the iPhone. I can't see you at all. I can't interact with you physically, but I'm still playing against you. Now, if your brain is in a jar, then I'm still playing with you in Australia, and I have no idea. And as long as the computer can still perfectly simulate all of your thoughts and you all the same way that regular people, I would still be playing against you, like for sure. There would be no change in the rules that it makes. And I think the kind your decision process is still the same, and the underlying like programming is there, and we would translate. Does that make sense?
I agree. I think that's it. A cogent argument. All right. So some other examples. Yes, as mentioned before, Jack Harkness is also immortal, maybe because of genetic mutation, maybe because of other reasons. Sometimes Doctor Who explains things. Sometimes it doesn't.
The official Doctor Who explanation is the power of the time vortex is to bring him back to life permanently, so that if he ever dies, he will always come back to life. And then Torchwood Miracle Day, which was after Torchwood had 3 incredible seasons.
Yes.
They decided to partner with an American company and write an awful 4th season. Really interesting ideas and really awful execution.
Oh yes, Miracle Day was interesting.
Apparently, in that, his powers are in his blood and able to connect to a giant underground space vagina in the earth for no apparent reason, and this has never come up in Doctor Who or Torchwood before. And the Doctor was not since, as far as I'm aware.
So they can use the time vortex to bring it back to life. So what did it basically say? If he dies, it will be a paradox. Because time itself,
I mean,
time dictates that this person is alive.
Yes.
So there's no way to make it on his own.
As the doctor had explained it once, he's gone from being human to being a fact of that time. Is time goes forward and Jack Harkness is there. That's just how it works. Yes.
It's like with our learning understanding of physics, you can't go faster than light.
Yeah.
You
can't have time
without someone using the power of the time vortex or similar to override it, as of where Dr. Kulak problem has, it is a fact of the universe that Captain Jack Harkness is alive. That's contradictory later because yeah, usually challenged by Miracle Day. No, I'm not even saying Miracle Day. What? Yeah, we talked about it earlier, and that's why I'm saying in addition to the fact that it's never explicitly stated, something would have had to happen between the last time we saw John Barrowman Harkness and when he became a face and vote to allow him to die.
Or this will.
And it kind of stands to reason that if he's been immortal for that long, he would search for a way to do that. And theoretically, it could be as simple as looking into the heart of the TARDIS and getting the time to
Theoretically,
Or we
yes.
went so far into the future where time doesn't exist. Like he can. Or after that.
Yes. True, where entropy no longer matters.
Well, because entropy is as natural potential. You can't go any further.
Yes. And of course, there is also the Lazarus Pit from DC Comics, which several characters have used to restore their youth, a la the myth of the Fountain of Youth, and in certain cases, bring themselves or others back to life. Yes, Henry. It's explained in some ways that it's scientific, that it depends on a number of factors. The writer, at first, yes, it seemed very mythical, and then they tried to explain it away in certain cartoons, games, to be some sort of long-living enzyme or things of that nature. That is true. Exactly. Any is indistinguishable from magic. Yes. I believe the idea is you have to be submerged in it in order for it to work. There is only a certain amount of it, so, and if, I don't know, I guess if you spill it, that is a very good, I believe it is, yes. Yes, very scientifically. Yes, maybe God did it. God is an alien. Yes, that's true. All right, that is. Do you know of any other ways in all of sci-fi that people have tried to become immortal or have successfully become immortal?
Point that he doesn't of the universe, one of the problems is I guess it's not a big problem, but local population is a huge thing. But but because they have the ability to create matter from energy, or they can just be kind of filling it. And it's really, and they basically more or less solve death on aging, so they
essentially live forever.
yeah, they live forever. Another population is becoming ridiculous. And they're using the resources of the planet, which are apparently it's the sun is going out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not that they're taking up too much space because there's a lot of space. But they're running out of energy to populate the yeah.
Oh, red dwarf stars have theorizing like 10 trillion. We have a long way to worry about that.
Yeah, no.
And black holes even more.
We'll cross that bridge.
Like there's a theoretical star that hasn't had enough time to exist yet.
Wow. All right. Yes, that is all I have for this presentation. Thank you very much, and thank you all for coming.
Would you be immortal?
Yes. Would you want to be immortal? I wouldn't. Yes. Yes, exactly. I wouldn't. It's basically, imagine someone saying, "Oh, you actually have a twin brother, but you're 6."
Okay, that's not the same. That is so not the same. I was just kidding.
You want to know. All right.
He had what?
Yes.
Are you willing to play a short YouTube video?
We have time. You want to play a YouTube video?
If you would like to.
Matt.
I love the YouTube. Thank you.
Just search it up.
You can start now if you want. While we're waiting. Is this video appropriate to watch?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
No.
He like,
Oh, yeah.
he wrote down actually how he wants to be more.
Lawyers.
This is written by lawyers.
A lawyer. Discover credit card. Yeah.
I guess it's not playing.
Yeah.
I can't believe the parrots are gonna outlive the humans. I'm joking.
We regret to inform that your previous existence ended on January 14th, 2022, following a road traffic accident. However, your consciousness was successfully uploaded to the life network by drawing the character audio. You may be experiencing some confusion. Please remain calm. Life.table. Your mental state is being temporarily adjusted in order to calm. Please remain calm. Life contains over 30,000 unique activities, networking with millions of other digitized minds, and the ability to contact undigitized friends and family. Please accept these terms and conditions in order to continue life. Your attention is particularly drawn to Section 2, Usage Rules and Limitations, Section 9, Privacy, and Section 11, Restricted Mental Activity. Thank you. Please select a life line. Tier 1 is our premium offering, Our full uninterrupted simulation of three terminal states. It includes a limited modification of your body plan, accelerated learning and recall, and full personal backup facilities. Tier 2 is our advertiser supported offering. It contains many of the features of Tier 1, but has significantly reduced cost. Some areas of the environment, such as the sky, may be replaced with targeted advertising, and your personal brand preferences may be altered to align with those of our sponsors. Tier 3 is our value offering. Thanks to our commercial partners, your experience of this tier is unlimited. However, some sensors and visual rendering options may be subject to a fair use policy. More complicated mental processes, including subconscious thought, creativity, and self-awareness, may be regulated or disabled at times of significant server load. Thank you. Your stored mind contains one or more patterns that contribute to the prevention of crime and terrorism-related crimes. Please stand by while we adjust these patterns. Your stored mind contains sections from 124,564 copyrighted works. In order to continue remembering these copyrighted works, a licensing fee of $18,000 per month is required. Would you like to continue remembering these works? Thank you. Please stand by. Welcome to life. Do you wish to continue?
For a second, everybody said Tom Scott. I know. Okay.
No, he doesn't want to.
Before I do the closing announcements, Daniel, you had something you want to say? No.
Why is it put an ad at the end of a video? Okay, sorry, Daniel.
One of the books, basically this guy comes from the point, no problem whatsoever. So he just kidnaps a bunch of people and sells their bodies to rich people and puts the rich people's brains into the younger party.
That sounds like Get Out.
What is it?
Get Out from West.
There's also another example of before we take on immortality.
There's also, speaking of your today, there's probably one immortality that I would never want to feel because essentially you don't die, but you know there is no regeneration and you don't keep your you can age normally. So there was at one point a man who was nothing but his had been badly burned and hurt in an explosion, and essentially they cut his spinal cord, and all he was left with the head, and he's still there. You could feel.
So the Walt Disney route, then. The Walt Disney route.
So, for those unaware, the SCP Foundation, it's an online interactive core fiction website. There's a certain one where when you die, your consciousness never leaves your body, and you feel your body decomposing for eternity to the point where you feel like your bones disintegrating and maggots eating what remains of you, and like the dust of your skin cells being spread out across the wind, and it never stops.
I love that actually, because it doesn't become so painful. It's more just like.
So the person in the story describes it as you constantly trying to breathe.
No,
If
you're actually sort of rolling around in the weeds, I think at that point it's like it can't get worse. Right?
Okay. With that said, anyone has any other last remarks? Dara.
If people don't know Tom Scott, he does a variety of things on YouTube, but more recently done more of these little like bite-sized like basically bite-sized sci-fi. There's just like a very short video that he describes as this is just a video from a future, maybe not our future, but a future.
Okay.
And they're using very short and very.
All right, Ben. All right, then, for closing announcements. Next week, we're doing karaoke. It's basically karaoke, but with star. And no, Zach, I'm not going to pronounce it the Japanese this way. I don't know how. Anyways. All right, we still have our movie pull-up between Hellboy and Shazam. Right now, it's pretty strong competition between the two, and we can use all the votes we can and to determine what the next movie we're seeing. Is that ever going to be about a kid with the powers of God or a man of the powers of the devil? So, yeah. Again, Star will be at TorCon this upcoming weekend, running Artemis on both days from 11 to 3. If you're attending TorCon, I would suggest stopping by and checking it out. Also, what's happening at TorCon is the Cosplay Chess Show, which there are some members of Star will be participating in. It's a lot of fun to watch. It can be really dumb, but still a lot of fun. All right, then, with that said, thank you for joining us here tonight, and hope you all live long and prosper.